Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Awkward Question Time. Please welcome your host, Alex Leam.
Hello and welcome to Awkward Question Time with me, Alex Leam, the show where I take a panel of 4 comedians and subject them to an hour's worth of awkward and stupid questions. Normally at this point, I'm saying submit your questions for the panel in the comments, but not tonight because this is pre-recorded this week. We are not live, as this little caption says there. Not live. It's pre-recorded. It's Friday night as we're doing this. So you can comment for your questions, but no one's listening. They won't be up on screen. So don't submit your questions. We're not live. Okay, we're not live. But do still give us a share, a retweet, and subscribe on YouTube. And while you're there, have a like on my Facebook page at Alex Leam Stand Up. Follow me on Twitter at Alex Leam and search Alex Leam on YouTube. Are you watching the show as it goes out during its normal time of 8:30 on a Sunday night? If you are, then still comment and DM to say hello, because I will still get the message. Interrupt me with what it is I'm doing on Sunday night. That means I can't do this show live. Bug the hell out of me. Wear my battery down. That is a challenge. And also, if you're watching on a proper TV, then still DM me a pic, because that won't get irritating at all on Sunday night when I'm quite busy. In fact, I'll probably loathe the sight of myself when you send me the pictures. So if you get your camera ready now, okay, if you're ready, I'm going to send a message to myself in the future. All right. You ready? Done. Nice. And you can still support the show. Any donations will be gratefully received. PayPal.me/Alex Leam and Ko-fi.com/Alex Leam as well. All donations will be split amongst the panel that will be received. Also, you can scan this QR code here to instantly donate a £5. Keep watching the QR code. Keep watching the QR code. There we go. Greg will stay there for the rest of the show. Bless him. There he goes. He's like the mascot of this program now. And that's everything. Cool. I was just looking down at the rest of the banners that I normally flash up at this point, but they're all massively irrelevant and not useful on a pre-recorded show. So we'll bring on tonight's guest. Please welcome Callum Ellis Jarvis Jones, Catherine Mather, who has left for some reason, Mark Birkwood and Kitty Messalina. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Happy Valentines.
Yeah, thank
Literally
you.
just messaged the chat like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to BRB. Just before you brought us on.
Yes, I see. Would it
Awkward.
be if she's left her headphones in or she's like unplugged, if we all shouted Catherine at the same time, do you think that would really panic her? Give it a go.
I think the borrowers are there.
Right. 3, 2, 1.
Catherine! See, that's confusing for me because Kitty is actually short for Catherine as well.
Okay. Well, we'll crack on. So we'll come to her last with the first question.
She had a better offer.
Did she?
She's off on a Valentine's date now.
She's off out with Greg.
Is she?
Yeah.
I mean, who can blame him? Anyway, does he look cute in that corner?
Hello!
Hello! Oh, you got you left the headphones. We tried shouting just in case that echoed through your house.
No.
So,
My apologies.
Before we started recording tonight's show, it occurred to me that the last time, the only other occasion that we had to do a pre-record when I wasn't available on the Sunday night, was also the last time Callum was on this show. So
I'm such an edgelord, and you have to edit out all those things I say. It's this is all going out as is recorded. That would imply effort on my part. So it's not going to happen. So we're going to ask.
That fuck off mug. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
I want 12.
Hold it up again. So it's above Greg's face. There we go. That's
Hey.
beautifully written as well. That's
It
beautiful.
is, isn't it?
That's nice. That is very nice. So we will ask the same opening question that we asked the last time I did a pre-record, which is, what am I doing that means I can't do this show live? Wrong answers only.
I think Alex has got a Valentine's date. A bit of a lockdown cockdown. Eat out to help out. all that jazz, you know.
Or is it the Sunday night wankathon?
Cancels his show because he's planned his self-date.
I do know that because I'm part of the very same wankathon. So I've got
Are
Alex
you?
now
I
on
thought I recognised you.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Are you doing it relay style where you kind of hand off?
Pass the baton.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Hand off to the
off his
co-host.
5th year already. No pun intended. Do you get sponsored for the wankathon?
If you want.
Okay. What, like
How many wanks per
50p a
minute?
stroke? Something like that?
That would get very expensive very quickly.
Yeah.
Unless
I
you mean
just
like
wear-
a stroke where like half your face is falling down, in which case like you've wanked so hard you've got to a stroke and that's worth 50p.
You could call it Strokes for Strokes, and it would just be the marketing rights itself.
All benefits to a stroke charity. Oh.
We're onto something here, gang.
Well, aren't we?
I mean, not having a Valentine's Day date other than your own hand doesn't make you like a stroke charity case. That's not how that works.
Okay, but I think quickly, Callum, set up a Twitter account before someone else nicks it. Stroke for stroke.
Strokes for strokes.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, and donate £5 to the Wankathon. Just scan the QR code below Greg's face. And that, would you believe, that was only the first answer. Any advance on Wankathon?
Who's the second answer after lockdown cockdown?
Lockdown. Considering that the last date that I had was October 2019, it's
precisely the reason. If you had a date, I think you would cancel your show. Because I think to make you move awkward question time, it's going to be something big. Because this is your baby, but like you've ditched it with the babysitters to go off on a date.
I couldn't confirm or deny. I'm not giving any clues as to what I'm actually doing Sunday night. Any advance on Cockdown Wankathon for the wrong answers?
I just think Greg's invited you round for dinner, and you thought, you know what? Fuck it. He's been such a sportive chap. Not even a date. Like, there's no implied sexual tension. Not on your part. Anyway, Greg is definitely brimming with it. But
if you weren't watching last week, Greg, who is just above the QR code, smiling, he went as far as to make his own awkward question time merchandise, order it himself, and he's been wearing it since. So that's Greg.
That's dedication. Greg. That's dedication.
That is dedication. So I kind of that on its own, I feel like I'd have to put out. I mean,
it is bordering dedication and slightly stalkerish. You know,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. The awkward question for you is, how far is Greg going to take this?
If I went round his for dinner, I think he'd drug me and I'd wake up in a 10-foot hole in his cellar.
Or, do you know, the irony is you'd wake up in a Greg's.
Well, as I try and process that mental image, we'll go on to our next question, unless anyone else has any other theories.
As to your whereabouts?
Yeah.
Have you got another gig? Are you ditching us for
a better gig?
Other comedy? You keep saying that people aren't scanning the Fiverr QR code. Is there someone who's just promised to pay you more? And you've gone, all right, I'll move my night and I'll do your night.
Why not?
Have you got a sugar daddy?
Or a sugar mama, or a Splenda, glucose guardian. That's gender neutral. Sugar daddy. Splenda daddy is like your kind of the sugar daddy you got in Lidl, you know, like the one you ordered off Wish. The low grade one is this low Splenda daddy. It was like, kind of gave me some kind of, not quite
half the calories of regular sugar daddy.
But the glucose guardian is for everyone.
I'm just enjoying glucose guardian. That's
That's not mine. That's Tumblr. I live on the internet.
Is he? Okay. I'm over 35. You can go on certain sites and just pass material off as your own, and it will just completely pass me by. Just get all your routines off TikTok. I won't know a thing. Be fine. Right. Next question. Valentine's Day. Yes or no? What do we think? Yes. Why yes, Kitty?
It is fun to celebrate the relationships you're in, to get given chocolates and presents and lingerie and all the nice things you get, and to go on dates. And it's also great because the next day, all the chocolate is suddenly really fucking cheap, and that's also cool. And yeah, it's a fun, sexy holiday. It's like, ooh, flowers and sex and chocolate. And it's like none of the stereotypical things. Like there's no like Christmas carols that everyone hates. There's nothing that anyone can properly be like, this is the one thing that's following me around for a month and like making me rage. There's none of that like whamageddon associated with it. It's just Valentine's. Tell the people you love that you love them. And like, that's nice.
I know, but you can be single and enjoy Christmas. On the flip side of that,
you can be single and enjoy Valentine's Day.
That's where the wankathon comes.
If you're raising money stroke for stroke.
See, every year, Thoughtful, the greeting card company, always seems to have a 4 for £10 thingy on. And so if you're like me and have multiple people that you send things to, you've got to try and get it to the nearest 4 to work out like who are you sending cards to. Like this year, I no longer have the girlfriend I had this time last year, and I was trying to work out who the 4th card goes to, and I just worked out, the most recent shag I had, and that was a couple, and they get a joint card because they live together. So it's like I'm not dating them, but it's the like, here's your obligatory. I haven't had any shags because of lockdown, and you're my most recent, so they got a card. So it's like, you know, the established partners, and then the bonus one because it's like 28p more on Thoughtful. I love it. Economical dating.
Round of applause for Kitty for not holding back with that answer.
Meanwhile, Alex with his October 2019 last date.
Yeah, that's. I
Mine
just
was
about
2020.
remember.
That is last year. It's December 2020, but it's last year.
Nobody saw the lockdown thing coming, so I was happy to bide my time and didn't realise I would not really leave Amber Valley where I live for that. I've not really gone that far. A lot of pensioners live around here. My idea for lockdown dates hasn't gone. Brilliant.
Pensioners, that's the perfect place to get the sugar mama.
Oh,
and then you get the pension and the inheritance when they're gone.
But just be careful because STD rates in the over 60s are colossally high. So rubber.
Are they?
Use that ribbed and dotted condom that you got as a tip that you're always going on about. Actually, don't use that. It's probably expired.
Yeah.
It's actually, we can check because it's still in my top cabinet of my drawer here. Hang on. No. Whilst I'm looking for it, Callum, Valentine's Day, your thoughts? Yes or no?
I was going with no, but then Kitty did mention the discounted chocolate. But then that's what I kind of use Easter for. Is like, no, hold. Day after Easter, go to Sainsbury's. All the chocolate in put it on my face. So this is my second Valentine's Day being separated. So I'm still technically married. So, I mean, if I wanted to, I could send a Valentine's to her. Like, it's good terms, so she'd probably just look at me weird rather than being like, can you fuck off and never talk to me again? So, but even when we're in, I don't know, it always just feels a tad forced. But it is the one day a year when white people can listen to Barry White and not feel like we're culturally appropriating. So
that's a point, and I get what you're saying about the Valentine's in separation of do you send it? Because I mean, this is my first Valentine's fully divorced. So there was a type I'm thinking Clinton's or Card Factory would do well to have a section of I have no romantic feelings towards you anymore, but I want to keep you on your goods. I want to keep you on good terms so the divorce goes smoothly.
I still care about you as a friend.
Yeah. It's a bit wordy, isn't it, that though?
Yeah, no,
it's a lot to fit on the front.
Yeah, probably split it.
You put it on the middle, just on the front, just like to my ex, and on the inside, all of the details of your feelings and the nuances.
Yeah, I suppose that's why there's 2 pages, right?
Well, you can do it year by year, so you can slowly reveal your feelings about the whole thing. So it might take you 10 years, depending on how badly or well it went, but yeah.
As opposed to the current partner one, where it's just please see last year's card until the get one where it's like romantic.
Nice.
Please turn back.
I like that idea. Like last year was full of sentiment. See 2020. Yeah, I like that.
It's like a passive aggressive email. Please see previous card.
See previous correspondence.
As previously discussed.
I have strong feelings for you.
Please find flowers attached, as per my previous greetings card.
Catherine, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it is nice to have a holiday that kids aren't involved in because, you know, Christmas is for the kids, Easter, it's for the kids, isn't it? You know, and once the kids grow up, you're just like, well, now I'm just, you know, some cunt in a Santa hat eating too much chocolate. But until somebody else has kids. So I would say, yeah, for that reason. But also, I just think you should just be nice to each other all the time. Like, if you are just putting it all on one day, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, number one. And number two, it's shit if you're like, I know he'll like that, so I'll hold on to it for either his birthday, Christmas, or Valentine's Day. Just treat each other now.
Did you not do Valentine's as kids?
No.
You didn't like find the people you were crushing on in class and make a little handmade card. I got in trouble in year 3, age 7, for signing a card to my friend Lois as lesbian love. I had limited understanding at the time, and that was when I then got further info. And I'm actually bi, there's a flag behind me, but I then got to the how do you know that word? And apparently this is inappropriate for children, even though children perfectly crushing each other in the playground of a variety of genders. And I got the whole, why have you signed this lesbian love? Because we'd been kissing in the year 3 loos and didn't realise that anyone was going to be shocked about this.
Yeah, kiss who you want as long as they, you know, appropriate age.
Yeah.
I went to school with a load of mingers though, so that's why I didn't involve myself in
Always send Valentine's cards, and you're all going to send loads, and you're just going to see who's got the most, because there's people there, and it's like, because at the time, if you're all sending like 10, then you're there like, oh, I only got 3, even though they've got 3 cards or whatever, and then someone's there like, I've got 26, because like they're really popular, and that's how you know who's interesting at that moment, is who's got the most in the little trays under the desk. Do you remember those? In primary
Speaking
school.
as one of the mingers, this always sounds like a horrible idea. I would have hated
No.
it.
No, the trays under the desk.
I feel like
and you
I'm
put
getting
it-
flashbacks right now.
And they're always a secret admirer as a thing, and you end up doing the kind of handwriting checks of like, oh, I know you've got a purple gel pen, but I borrowed it from her, and it's like a whole. It was exciting. It was like one of the few things of primary school that wasn't filled with trauma.
Oh, I wish I went to your school. Your school sounds like a film.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Because when you're like 8 and don't really know anything about the world or anything, but you're like, you've got a crush on Harry. No, I don't have a crush on Harry. I've got a crush on Philip. I don't know. Like, it's just
Fucking like somebody who's never had another person look at them and go, as if you dare, and then just walk away.
There was a boy in year 6 who gave me a stick of chewing gum when I thought he hated me, and it turned out that he was doing that stupid toxic thing of like hate a girl in primary school and therefore be mean to her. And then like one of the things he did was he gave me like a stick of like, it was the juicy fruit chewing gum, because he'd heard me saying that I liked the juicy fruit chewing gum, and that was the moment I realized that he was being a dick to me because he liked me. But I'd been raised well enough to be like, that's not a good way of showing someone you like them. So I was still like, have I bought you a stick of chewing gum and now don't do anything? We're even, we're good, no more. This is, we'll call it quits.
It's starting to feel like group therapy.
Well, so do you know what? I've had sort of a bad experience with Valentine's cards, because there's one girl I really liked in school, and I voted Valentine, but I got my mum to write it so she wouldn't recognise the handwriting, right? Backfired. It looked exactly like another guy's handwriting in class, and they ended up getting together, and she didn't deny it was him. So I was just there like, fuck.
And now they're married.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, no, imagine. I'm just going to look on Facebook. But yeah. So Valentine's, fuck Valentine's. That's
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Kitty, you have the bi flag behind you. I have a load of gold glittery cloth behind me. Does that signify anything?
I mean, I don't know my various kind of flag code, handkerchief chief code stuff, but maybe.
I believe that's the flag of ABBA, isn't it?
I think that's like musical theatre.
I'm fabulous. That's what that means.
Before we move on to the next question, I found the ribbed and dotted, and it's February 2023, so I'm still good.
And that's a February, so it's potential for Valentine's in like a couple of years' time.
I've got 2 years, baby. Yeah. Next question. So obviously, as we're not live, we can't have live viewer questions, but regular viewers, have pre-submitted them. So this one is from Greg, who's pictured above the QR code, who says, "What is the sexiest chocolate bar and why?" I mean, the obvious one being Flake.
Yeah.
For that one.
I think the obvious one's Galaxy, surely.
Why Galaxy?
It's just kind of wavy and curvy and smooth, and they've got a whole thing going with that. But I'm just wondering if you're a chocolate bar, because I feel like you can eat a Cadbury cream egg in a really suggestive
that's
way.
what I was going to say. My first thought was Cadbury cream egg because if it's nice and gooey.
Because you have to stick your tongue in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's something so sexy. It really is the most sexual sweet you can eat. I don't know. You do, because you proper go into it as well. I mean, I do anyway. Well, I think Kitty does as well.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, when I was in secondary school, they banned me from eating buttercream top cupcakes in the form room because apparently, and it wasn't deliberate. Apparently, the way I ate the icing on top was just like too whatever. People were like, if you're going to eat the cupcakes, you have to not to eat them in the form room.
Hang on, how have you not been recruited to the latest M&S ad? Because you'd be perfect for that.
It's not just a buttercream topped cupcake.
Honestly, you would be the perfect casting for that.
Should we just sack off the rest of these questions and just listen to stories of kids' school time?
Oh, God.
Damn it, Kitty, you're turning everyone on again. Put them up into it.
Listen to Kitty's stories followed by the wankathon. I think that's the next one.
Perfect Valentines.
They're just...
This just in, 14 more people signed up to the wankathon. Nice. Cool. So it's saying that cream egg edges it.
If you're allowed it as a bar, because it says chocolate bar, but it's the best. It's the sexiest chocolate there is.
Definitely.
Sexiest chocolate. Sexiest chocolate. I mean, saying Flake for different reasons, although it's just because it's been advertised in a sexy way historically.
It's really unsexy chocolate. It gets everywhere, and then you're like pushing it out of your bra.
Like, maybe that's the game. Like, it falls on you, it melts. You're like, oh, you're gonna have to lick this off me.
No, it's my Flake. Fuck off.
You see the quandary.
You don't share food sexy.
If you're just rummaging around for the little flaky bits of chocolate, that's just like, oh, she really likes the chocolate. That's not like seductive. It's just, oh wow, okay.
Oh, you have a lot of food in your cleavage. Oh, okay. This is very unsexy.
Any advance on the sexy chocolate bar before we move on?
I think we've found it.
I was about to say, because this we seem to have come on very nicely. A very nice segue to our next viewer submitted question, submitted by John Morris, who says, "What's the weirdest food you've used in the bedroom?"
Any food. Who the fuck is eating? What's the fucking?
I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I have used chocolate body paint. There was someone else there, not just on myself. But I made the mistake of putting a bit too much on. And so by the time you'd licked it all off, you're like, I can't do it. And I can't work anymore. So that was, I think chocolate body paint was just so overrated.
I love food and I love sex, but the two should not be combined, especially not in certain areas where you're just going to give yourself a yeast infection. Like, food isn't sex, and if you have too much food, then you can't move anymore, and then no one wants to do things, and they're like, "Oh, my stomach." Like, I feel like food is the nice treat afterwards, unless. Okay, I have had various times where it's just like, you have this home cooked meal or this cup of tea or whatever, and I'll do other things, and that's but it's not involved. It's just the lots of sensations. Whereas if you're paid, I have done the whole, cover it in maple syrup or whatever, but it's not great. You think it's exciting, and you're like, oh, I've just got sticky tits now.
It's got the good kind, Yes. The closest I've come to weird food in the bedroom is not even food. It's like food flavored condoms, and that's it. That's how weird that's gone. So strawberry flavored condoms or chocolate flavored condoms, but honestly, it's just a bit. I've not used actual food in the bedroom, but yeah.
I bought some Scotch whiskey flavoured condoms when I was in Edinburgh, and let me tell you, it doesn't taste the same.
Ever.
They were called Mick condoms.
Are you sure someone wasn't just taking the piss?
Oh no!
I've
seen these
condoms and taste of whiskey, and
the amount of badly put together tourist tat that's for sale in Edinburgh. It's incredible.
There must also surely be some iron brew condoms. There can't.
There must be.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I want.
Yeah, there is. I've seen them.
Is there?
No.
Oh my god! Where can I get them? I love iron brew.
Deep fried condoms.
Deep fried.
I don't know how that would work. But...
Crispy.
Well, you wouldn't be wearing it because that would bring all sorts of problems. Did anyone else think when Kitty was answering the question and she said, "You have a cup of tea while I'll get to work down there," that was going to be a story about how she got banned from the canteen?
I thought it was how she got banned from Toby Carvery. We've been through this, Kitty. You just give them the gammon and get on with it. Stop doing that.
Never been allowed in Starbucks ever since.
I have not been banned from any eating or drinking establishments, I'll have you know.
Because they've never caught you.
I never get caught.
Next question. And it's an anti-Valentine's question. And it is, have you ever had a depressing situation where being single and lonely has been really rubbed in your face?
I mean, I'm feeling it from Kitty today. Not necessarily being single and lonely, but just about generally having a happy childhood. Just the level. I mean, I thought I was pretty liberal-minded and active in my youth, but I don't. I think I've done bugger all compared to Kitty now. It just seems so much more fun and exciting. In terms of depressing situation where you just think, "Oh, could this get any worse?" Oh, wait, yes, it just did. This was years ago when I broke up with my first serious girlfriend. So we'd been going out for a year, everything had been hot and heavy, and then all of a sudden, without any reason, she ghosted me. So it all ended with no explanation. So I was feeling really, really depressed. And a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in about 6 weeks because he just started a new job, he called me and said, "How's it all going? Everything okay?" I went, "No, not really. Me and Sadie are broken up." He went, "Oh, mate, I tell you what are you doing tonight? Come out for a drink. I'll meet you at the local. We'll put the wheel to rights." I thought, fair enough. So I met him at my local Wetherspoons, and this was back in the day when Wetherspoons wasn't about Brexit. It was fine to go in there. The only propaganda they had in those days was how clean the toilets were.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know about anyone else, but I miss those days. So I met him, and he was 40 minutes late, and then he turned up with his new fiance, who he'd met at this where he just started working, and they were late, disheveled, and they both had a certain glow about them. So yeah. So I said, "Why you're late?" He just went, "Well, we just got dressed on the way out." I think, just don't tell me anymore. Just don't tell me anymore. So I was then treated to the sight of them all over each other in Wetherspoons, hardly getting a word in edgeways. Then we went to another pub where they could play music. They had a music license. 4 or 5 beers in, I'm seeing them necking, and then on the jukebox, "Are You Lonesome Tonight" by Elvis came on.
Oh.
Just really stab. Yeah, so that I think is the most depressing single and rubbed in the face moment. Like about that. Twisted. Anyone else?
I've remembered one. So I mentioned that I'm still married. Like, that was a very long-term relationship. We were together for like 15 years. So I didn't really. I'm 33 now, so it's only been like this past year really being single. But prior to meeting my future ex-wife, I went out on a date with this girl who I was really into. Went to the movies, but she did that cheeky thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, we'll all go as friends." "Oh no, everybody else pulled out. It's just me and you." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I did the movie and then didn't, like, I was young. I didn't do the kissing thing. Like, I was stupid. And then the next day when I was at work, I was like, "Oh, I just want to say, I'd really love time with you yesterday. Blah, blah, I'd really like to see each other again." I didn't get anything back And then the next day in the sixth form common room, she was snogging some exceptionally tall, attractive goth guy. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll go fuck my own face then.
We can do that. We don't need a date.
I used to be very limber as a boy. Oh.
I'm surprised you left the house. That case.
I mean, well, the one time I did.
What do you know? I don't know what anyone else. It's just the mention of a sixth form or a common room. Now I'm just going to think about how Kitty got banned from any of these places. It's just,
Literally,
I don't know why. It's yeah. Anyone else before we crack on with the next question?
I've not really been.
Yeah,
single.
so there was when this happened in sixth form. Honestly, like back in sixth form, we group of college friends, but there was like about 7 of us, and it felt like the cast of Friends in terms of there was all these weird love triangles, and it was all a bit messed up. And I was really into one of my friends, and I'd known her a while. And then I'd like asked her out that day, and she'd said no for like the 3rd time. And then we all went and hung out at another friend's house. And then it was a couple of hours later, she's on the sofa with one of my closest friends at the time, just making out with him. So that was that. I mean, not only was that reminded being single and lonely, it was being single and lonely and my friend getting the girl or whatever it was. But it was, that was no longer my friend. So that was, sorry, I really brought the mood down. I think
That's right.
So you have to have been single to be like having the on your ownness rubbed in.
Not necessarily.
Because I've not really properly been single since I was 11, except for a few months when I was 18, and that was a very deliberate choice to be single for those few months. But there was one time I went, because polyamory, I'm always available. I went on a date with this girl, and we had actually kind of arranged to kind of go to the pub, and there happened to be a poly meet going on with a bunch of other polyamorous people just going for a social. And we met, and we've been talking a little while, but we've not met in person. And I thought we were getting on, and she is still one of my very good friends, and like we're all cool. But like we got to know each other. And then at the end, when everyone's kind of going off their different ways, and the pub was closing, but the kind of more clubby bars were still open, she was kind of like, "Oh, my boyfriend and my girlfriend are in town, and they're all going to this bar. Do you want to come with us?" And I was like, "Oh, I was going to go home, but sure, I'll come out." And then on the way to the bar, she's like, "By the way, I think we just got like friendship energy and stuff. I hope that's cool." And I was like, "Yeah, it was cool, and we are still friends." But I was like, sure. I kind of felt weird that I'd then been I was like, so I'm still going to this bar, and they're like, dancing and drinking. And I'm like, cool, meet these 2 cool new people. And okay, so now you're making out with her, and I'm making out with him. And I'm like, am I meant to be, like, you invited me? I'm not sure. Should I be going out? Like, it was just very confusing. Like, you've asked me to come at the same time as saying you don't want to date. And that's fine. I'm fine. Like, I've got a great new friend out of the equation. That's cool. But it's here are the other people that you are dating, and I don't know them, and I was kind of here to date you, and we're not dating, and you've asked me to tag along, and I'm the only one here that you're not dating, and I'm just, what do I do with that? We had some drinks and some dances.
I also enjoyed the way, Mark, it was just like you were trying to numb the pain, as it's like I've just brought all these memories back to the surface, just while Kitty was there, just like,
basically,
I knew this was all coming back.
Basically, I knew this was going to be the Valentine's awkward question time, so I've just stopped up, basically, just help medicate.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Catherine, have you got anything?
My most tragic period has to have been when I first moved down to London for uni, and like I know that I'm like this, confident motherfucker, but at the time I was very quiet. I was very subdued and an introverted person, and I still can't approach anybody, let alone anyone who is beautiful. So I just couldn't do it. But everyone else in my class at uni, and it was a very small class, there were only 3 of us. Everyone else was very, very good at all of that. And they would keep taking me out, and they'd be like, "Okay, we're gonna get you laid, Catherine." I'm like, "Yeah, let's get Kathy laid," and then they'd get laid, and I'd be like, "All right then, see you later," and they'd be like, "Yeah, bye." And that happened for about a year, and then I got laid, and I was like, "Screw you, losers." I did it with grace and elegance.
Well, that's
Those their names.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey.
Little late on the I was a little late on the I have to change screens to get to my sound effects, but worth it.
You can edit that in post.
No, I'm doing no such thing. If I'm gonna look disorganized and bad, it's staying in. It's staying in. So next viewer question. So bear in mind, I put this up as a Facebook status saying, "What are your Valentine's themed awkward questions?" So I get this from Katie Brown, who says, "I'm asking again because it's an issue that needs clearing up. Do you sit or stand to wipe your bum?"
Who is standing to do that?
Apparently, it is a whole thing.
Quite literally.
Hey.
No pun intended.
Do the drum thing. Do the drum thing.
Yeah. Go on.
I'm on the screen
You're
again.
in slow today.
Too late.
Rim shot. Denied.
There we go. I'm denying
It's
myself.
like a half sit, half stand, squat kind of thing. You kind of lift without standing.
Yeah, you have to hover a little.
Because if you stand up, the bum cheeks come together.
Ooh.
Yes, you can't really get the girth that you need. Like,
and then you just smearing shit around.
Yeah, if you're slightly hirsute down there, then it's just.
You need to be down to get good access. It's basic excavation.
That's Katie's Valentine's question. Like, I'm not judging. Like, your kink is not my kink, but your kink is okay. But like Valentine's, the first thought is not wiping your butt.
Well, think about it.
It depends what sort of Valentines you have. You might need to wipe your butt before.
Maybe having a really good Valentine's Day. You've had your roast beef and your nosh off, and then you're going for it, and it's like, what's this? A shitty bum? Can I ask, do you sit or stand to wipe? And
well, hopefully you've kind of all done the adequate preparations to make sure that doesn't encounter, unless that's a very specific thing that you're going for. Just
especially on Valentine's Day, you want to put that level of prep in, don't you? Wipe your bum, put some perfume on, let's go.
Oh, no, that's never going to taste good. Don't put perfume there. As anyone who's ever like, I'll put some aftershave there, and then you're there like, no. Use body safe. No, it's going to taste like chemicals. Like, fuck, if you want someone's face to go anywhere, make sure it's something that's like edible, is the point. Like, don't put freaking, just wash yourself properly. You don't need to flavor it with perfume, because that's just not good.
I mean, I was talking about just putting perfume on like your neck, but I mean, if you know,
I'm so sorry.
No. What are those badge capsules that you put up? Those glitter ones. What is? I'm sorry, I've derailed it. What?
No, go on. I'm intrigued.
pH levels.
Have you not? Why would you do that? Who wants glitter?
Glitter and badge capsules.
Yeah, you pop it up inside yourself, and then there's glitter everywhere.
Oh,
I think
I just imagine
the natural acidicness kind of dissolves it inside you, and then it's like glitter glue coming out.
And then like if you were to be in the act and you pull out and you look down and you're not expecting it, like, I'm fucking a fairy. This is insane. What is happening?
Okay. Do you know whenever you got glue on your hands and they dried and you just had to peel it off?
Like a PVA.
I have that image now. You've been like,
that is remarkably satisfying, though. Just like,
So imagine that on the badge, like.
It doesn't sound. It sounds like a surefire way to get a yeast infection, to be honest.
Oh my god! Yeah. Like,
can they make one
healthy?
Can they make one for men that just sort of goes down the end, and then when you poof, like, no.
I'm on board for that because it doesn't have to go in me. You know, that's.
I mean, it depends how they do it.
Well,
They might
yeah.
then be filling you up. This is quite explicit.
You know,
I think it needs discussing.
25 weeks in, and there's me thinking, oh, surely we're going to run out of steam with weird and wonderful ways questions are going to go. But no, that's what I like about the show. It continues to surprise me. And I'm so glad that me laughing at what Callum said stopped me Googling vag capsules. Because nobody wants... Because this week, I've been getting no end of weird Facebook adverts. That would really set everything out of kilter if I Googled
That's
vag
really going to
capsules.
fuck up your Wish recommendations.
Oh, my God. You're right. Well, Katie, I hope that's answered your question.
And some.
Our next viewer question, submitted by John Morris. You've accidentally agreed to go on a date with Alex. Where do you take him? So,
post-lockdown.
Yeah, pegging. Thank you.
Like, where do you take him? Up the bum. I'm sure we've had this discussion before.
I'm an minded sort of a guy. Sorry, what was that?
Greg's.
Take me to Greg's.
As in the
Well,
bakery or Greg's house?
Greg's house, not the actual Greg's. You know.
So you take me for a date at Greg's house?
Yeah.
So would he wait on us? Do you think?
Well, he can do whatever you want him to do, Alex.
I would imagine.
I bet if you said to Greg, "Will you cook me and a date a 3-course dinner and serve us in a little tuxedo and a little bow tie?" I bet he would.
I bet he'd do it in an apron and nothing else. If we got him an awkward question time apron.
Greg is the awkward question time simp. That's good.
I think he's was number one fan, but simp also applies.
Okay, so far we've got Callum. He'd take me from behind. Mark, he'd take me to Greg's. Kitty, have you answered yet?
Go for some drinks down the pub and maybe watch some comedy. I figure that's the thing you do anyway.
That's okay. Well, yeah, that would appeal. Catherine,
what
about
you?
you?
Something I like.
I don't know. Maybe like get on the London Eye, but then like just as we got into the capsule and there's no way we're going up, I'd say something really provocative. You know, like actually, I think Louis C.K. was in the right, and then just gonna keep going. And just see what happens.
You like your capsules, don't you?
I do.
Is it also filled with glitter in the London Eye?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Hang on.
I'm here to fill in for a few moments, as Alex needs to regroup. He was totally not prepared for what just happened.
I've gotten so much use out of that jingle these last couple of weeks. Okay.
And the thing is, I use that as an example because I once got in a car share, a very long car share, and that was one of the first things that the driver said to me. And I was like, well, it is a long way to, I won't say where it was because they might be watching. And I was like, well,
Amarillo.
Yeah. We drove from London to Amarillo.
Alex, how do you take your Nandos? Where are you in the periometer?
I don't eat chicken.
I mean, they've got like portobello mushroom, halloumi, all sorts.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, this is news to me. I'd go
I've
spicy.
taken 3 different vegetarian women out to Nando's dates and been worked every time, so you know.
I was about to say I'll be your 4th, but my syntax is all over the place. Anyway, yeah, I'd go spicy. A spicy halloumi.
Hot Nando's, hot Nando's. I feel like that's just it's a classic date thing for a reason. It's like it's cheap enough that like if it doesn't work, but at the same time it's like, ooh, peri peri. Cheeky Nando's.
Like you're thinking. I like your thinking. Cool. So on to our next question. So this this question was submitted by 2 different people and they were similarly worded. So from Fleur de Mal, who says, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done on a date? And Vix Jane Layton, who said, what's the worst date you've ever been on? So we can combine the 2. Questions. We can combine the 2.
One's some way that you've embarrassed yourself, and one's just the worst date, which is possibly the other person. So
so you can answer either or both. So embarrassing thing you've done on a date. I don't know if anyone else has encountered this sort of paradigm of where you are dating somebody who isn't a comedian, who doesn't necessarily get your way of doing and saying things, and it comes across a bit odd. Like there was a date where, for some reason, I thought it'd be a great idea when she said, "Oh, you smell nice." I went, "Yeah, it's deep heat." Why? Why did I think it was a good idea to say that? Why? And I thought, well, I'm committed now. I just went, yeah, I put it all over. It's cheaper than heating. Just looked at me blankly, like, who is this twat? So that I think answers both questions, because it was downhill from there, really. So, what about everyone else?
I've had some awful ones. So there was one time when I was with a lady, and it's just a kind of misunderstanding of the words, but she does come across as very racist in this story, as she should. Where we were just kind of, I think we just had sex. I don't think I then had sex afterwards. I think it was the kind of post afterwards where she went, "Oh, this has been on my bucket list for ages." And that's the moment that I thought that she'd not been with a woman before. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't, I thought that, you know," and she's like, "Oh, no, been with loads of women before, just never been with a black girl before." And I just felt really cheap and dirty and just, oh, that's bucket list, hooray. And like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that, you know. It's just like, oh, we've got like 6 extra vaginas or whatever. Like, there's nothing, it's the same. I'm just I get a bit more of a tan going on, you know. It's just like, what do I say? Like, welcome to the jungle. Like, I don't know.
You should have said, how many more till you get? How many more do you need to go through to get a full house? What else is on the bingo?
Like, and also the fact that it's like a bucket list. It's like, was I just like, you know, box ticked on next? Like, was she not actually interested in me, other than for, there's one on the, like, go to see the Great Wall of China, have sex with a black girl? Like, well, it's just but it was also the fact at the beginning I thought that I'd taken like her queer virginity and she'd not told me that, so I was kind of panicking there. Like, I thought you know, talked about an ex-girlfriend, I'm sure, and what was going on there? And so, oh no, yeah, this is, you know.
Wow, I mean, that made my skin crawl, and I was nowhere near. Wow. Okay, so Callum, what about you? I mean, you the date question, not was your skin crawling?
Yeah. I guess, I mean, like I said, I was in a relationship for a long time, and kind of with what you said, I mean, I've only been doing comedy for about 2 years. So for the 13 years, it was just me saying weird things, and my ex just going, no, stop it. I mean, the only other sort of, in the rare occasions when I have dated since, any embarrassing stuff mainly revolves around food, because I have a habit of just eating like a moron. And I chose on a date, I still don't really know why, but I chose to get a Yorkshire pudding wrap.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, it was deliciously tasty.
Carbs and carbs.
But like, it's just not a good thing to be like, and just generally trying to shove a rolled up Yorkshire pudding in your mouth with any kind of elegance, because I am from Yorkshire. I'm not using a knife and fork to eat that. Hands are being used. So yeah, just general moronic mastication.
Nice. That was the working title for Wankathon. Any more for any more?
So I think it's not about the worst date I've been on. I think, you know, yeah, I've generally acted like a moron on certain days as well. Like, I'm autistic as well, so I'm really not socially aware a lot of the time what's going on. But there was one time where I think I avoided the worst date. So again, sixth form, like, really into this girl, really got chatting to her, sort of asked her out. She said no. And then the next week it was the European elections, and this was when I was first getting into sort of politics. And I just got chatting with her because we were still friends. And I went, "Oh, so who did you vote for?" And she went, "Oh, I voted for the BNP." And I was just like, "I'm really glad you said no to me. I'm really, really glad." Like, that could have been the worst. Like, had she agreed to go on a date with me and that came up, I would not have known what to done. So I really dodged the bullet there. Like,
Yeah. I had an ex who voted for the BNP. He is an ex.
No.
Quite a bit. I know. I was like, oh no, I let you inside me. But and then there was like a big gap of years, and then you get the phone call out of the blue, and you're like, oh my god, who's died? And he was like, I've heard that you're doing comedy now. And I was like, I am, yeah. And he was like, so I'm part of this organisation and we've got an evening on and we were wondering if you wanted to be the comedian. And I was like, okay, what? And he was like, we're not a racist organisation. And I was like,
most great if you have to preface it with that.
Most people don't.
Yeah,
so
we're not a racist organisation, but...
Yeah, we just believe in free speech. It's like, it's never said anything nice, though, is it? And so I was like, oh, no, I'm really busy. And I was like, I haven't told you when it is. And I'm like, I'm just really swamped at the minute. And, for the next forever. And then he was like, okay, well, I'll get some of the guys to just like your videos and stuff. And I'm like, no. Please no! Like, I want to become the fucking poster child for like Catherine Mather. Oh yeah, Catherine Mather, racist comedian Catherine Mather.
Oh.
No. Luckily, he didn't. So that was it. Not a date.
Thankfully.
But, yeah.
I just remember there was a story a few years ago. I think they covered it on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. The BNP had to halt the entertainment of their Christmas party because the DJ who they hired turned up and he was black.
Oh, fuck off.
And the reason, and the only statement they gave was, well, he sounded white on the phone. And that was all
the thing is, that is a real thing. I know full well that I have got to like interviews and stuff where I've had like a phone interview and stuff beforehand. And, I will just kind of, I can very much put on the BBC, RP, receive pronunciation. My first 7 years, I was educated in Chelsea, don't you know? And I sound white on the phone when I've got my phone voice on, and then I'll come in and there's a double take. And my aunt had a job interview once where apparently she had an interview and then she left. And as she left, she heard the receptionist saying to the interviewer guy, like, did you know she was a negress?
Fucking really?
She's in her 60s now, so this is some years ago, but like, yeah, passing on the phone is a thing, and it's got its pros and cons. It gets your foot in the door to then prove them wrong, but it also means that they are kind of taken aback to realize that you're not white after all. And I've got light skin privilege, I'm looking at the like glaring white lights I've got on me and looking at how white I look on this screen as well.
I've got red skin privilege because I fucked my lights up. I can't seem to get past sort of gammon at the minute. So it's
ironic given a topic.
Yeah. It is ironic, really. Yeah, I look like I should be really angry on question time, the regular question time, not this one. So one final viewer question submitted by George Coppin, who says, "Who is the sexiest comedian you know?" It can be someone on the panel.
Me.
Greg Davies.
Fantastic answer. I like that. Yeah. Greg Davies says, Kitty.
Controversial, I know, but
we covered this in a previous episode because Kitty said, and I quote, he has big dick energy.
No, one of my commenting friends had said that. But he does.
Sorry. Okay. He did.
He's an ex-teacher. He's got powerful energy and he's got daddy energy. It's like, oh, hello. Like he would like tell you off and you'd be like, oh.
Okay. So it could. So yeah. And
Mitchell as well. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what it is in my brain where I'm like, he could give me a lecture, but I would appreciate that he was right.
Was he like on the weird crush list that you get in Heat, David Mitchell?
I mean, is it that weird? He's intelligent and he's funny and I don't know.
Okay. Mark, what about you?
Well, I think after all the stories I've heard about Kitty, I would have to say.
Desiree Birch. She's also a former dominatrix as well. Desiree Birch.
Okay. Cool. All right then. Well, I'll also vote for Catherine. Then that makes it 2-2. Callum.
Is this comedians we know or comedians we know of?
Any comedian that either you know or that you know of that you find attractive.
I mean, I feel if it was ones I know, it would just be me mentioning the name of some open mic act in Yorkshire who accidentally watches and goes, "I'll never fucking gig him for him again."
That's true. The forums have been a bit testy of late, haven't they? So
Yeah.
we don't want to start any more lists.
Yeah,
So-
to avoid everything like that, Catherine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thus breaking the deadlock and not making this awkward at all. Lovely. Right. So to finish with, we're going to play a game. We played this on the show last week to start off, and it went down so well. We thought it'd bring it back for a Valentine's special. We're going to play Name That Ringtone. So if you don't know, a couple of weeks ago, as an impulse purchase, and I must add, I was sober when I did this. From eBay, I bought this Nokia 3310. And I've also found a website which still exists, which gives you the codes for the composer. So I have found. So last week I did sort of like era-specific songs from 2001 and 2002. Yeah, Naughty's Pop. So this week I've gone for love songs or songs with love in the title, similar era, because the website hasn't been updated since 2004. So think 2004 backwards. And also I've had varied degrees of success with getting these right. So some you probably get like half a tone and then the rest goes off in the wrong key and really hurts your ears. So we're ready for the first one.
Okay.
First song is
No
That's what you're
limits.
No limits. No.
It's got love in the title.
Oh, yeah.
Love has no limits. So, no, I'll play that again.
Oh, is it Crazy in Love?
It's exactly what it is. Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Nicely done, Callum. Nicely
didn't
done.
pick the most tuneful.
No, that was tone deaf and awful. So hopefully we'll have more success with the next one. So our next tune is
Love Machine.
I've got no idea what that bit is at the end. But yeah, that's absolutely right. Love Machine, Girls Aloud, one on Kitty. Next one.
Love is all around me.
Yes. And the artist?
Wet.
Yeah. Wet.
Just
good
as
end to
a
any
side
Valentine's
note,
Day.
how many copyright strikes do you get on these from YouTube?
None. And I'm already in hot water with them. It's still going on. There was a load of code for this.
Wow.
There we go. It's finished now. None. They don't get the MIDI sort of like versions. Last couple.
Love really hurts without you.
It's exactly who that was.
I should mention I'm fucking boss at pub quizzes. So.
I'm not, but I enjoy them all the same.
Good. All right then. So let's see if someone can steal this last answer from Callum. Last one.
Loving Angels instead.
Yes, exactly. That was Angels.
Angels.
Robbie Williams. Oh no, there's one more.
I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say.
Yes, that was Can't Take Miles Off You, Andy Williams. And thus concludes the Valentine's edition of Name That Ringtone. So well done, everybody. But Callum, I think we're on time with that one. Nice. So that is it for our Valentine's special. Before we finish, we'll come around, everybody. If you've got anything to plug, now's the time to do it, even if it is just your socials. So Catherine, start with you first.
So I do a podcast. It's called 0 Hours, and I talk to people about the best and worst jobs that they've done. That comes out on the 1st of every month. And I also do some videos. It's called 2 Mins of Pat and Mav with Sean Patrick. And he is very much the one that deals with all the social media, which is why it's actually got quite successful now, because I haven't touched it apart from being in them.
Nice. Mark.
So you can follow me on Twitter at mbcomedian1. So I run a monthly gig called Laugh Able, which is a night dedicated to giving acts with disabilities and mental health platform to perform. We got a virtual gig next week with Aaron Simmons headlining, so it should be a really, really good night. And that's next Friday from 7:30. And you can search Laugh Able on Facebook and Twitter and Insta and everything. Yeah.
Sweet. Callum.
So I also do a podcast. It's called The Neanderthals. We're kind of winding it up. So currently we're going through a weekly scripted series called The Last Ride of the Neanderthals. That's out at the minute. Here are all my various social medias. Look at this. Oh,
very nice.
Fuzzy knackers it. That's Twitter. That's Instagram and Twitch. And that's if you want to get me to do voice work for you on Instagram. I also pop up on KD's Comedian Quiz Off, and us and a few other people, we wanted to set a New Year goal that we would get the hashtag No Carl trending. So
no Carl.
Hashtag No Carl. And in this time of Corona, just remember to eat avocado, not ass. Yeah. Those are all my messages.
I would rather eat ass. Kitty.
Yeah, I've got a few things. So next Thursday, I'm doing Social Distance Warriors. On Friday next week, I'm doing Below the Belt with Benny Shakes. On Friday the 26th, the Bradford LGBTQ plus Fringe. I've got a set there. And then starting from March, every first and third Tuesday of the month, I am now starting kind of hosting a new and exciting open mic night. We're still accepting submissions for people to sign up. The first one's the 2nd of March with Alex Leam headlining. And that's Late Stage Comedy. Look us up on Facebook and Twitter and such, and find me as Kitty Messalina on Facebook.
Excellent. Cool. And you'll be popping up on this next week.
Oh, yeah.
As well, when we're back live. Because you say you'll have something that will rival Greg.
Well, I was trying to outdo Greg for being a keen fan of the show, and then it required things to arrive in the post, and then this was suddenly moved to a pre-record, and it's this is not going to work. Except one of the things which wasn't going to arrive till tomorrow then actually did arrive today, but then the other thing was meant to arrive a couple of days ago and it hasn't arrived. So fuck knows if Royal Mail's going to come through in time. Yay, nice. COVID delays.
Catherine, pat Greg on the head because you're just in the right sort of space for it there.
Hold on.
There we go.
There we go.
Greg, there we go. Excellent. So thanks for watching. Thank you to my panelists for coming to Friday instead of Sunday and rescheduling. We'll be back live next Sunday. But until then, stay awkward.